Welcome to Dharmapeetam. So today we are starting a new session especially for dissertation, and we do hope that this will be very useful for many of our students, usually found in the syllabus of many of the programs that we do. So dissertation literally means a lengthier, deeper academic writing on a research question. This is usually included in many of the academic programs. Basically, some of the master's programs do have dissertation, and mostly this is found in a doctoral education, that means PhD. And dissertation is a word which is usually confused or overused with another word called thesis. Dissertation and thesis both are almost similar, where we may not find much difference in between these two words when being used. But to the essence, thesis is somewhat a shorter version of academic research writing, which is usually included in post-graduation programs. And a dissertation is a lengthier, deeper, original research report result, which is lengthier and deeper. And this is usually found with a doctoral education, that means with the PhD programs. So we will do another video in detail regarding the differences and the similarities between dissertation and thesis. We will come to know more about those two things deeper in that session. Now, what are the features of dissertation? What are the features of dissertation? The first and most prominent feature of dissertation is this is an original research. A dissertation is an original research which involves investigating a novel question. We may come across something new as a part of our education or on a general social analysis. So when we try to go deeper into that particular problem, try to find a solution for that, we will get a new problem, a new question to solve. For example, we know we have for example, we know Thomas Alva Edison invented electric bulb. It happened in 1879. He was continuously changing different metals and trying to find one metal which can last long. And in that process, he tried different metals, different methods, everything failed. But what he did was, he made a note of everything there. One among that was, he found a phenomenon of electricity that it can pass through vacuum. Vacuum means nothingness, no air even. So electricity has this speciality to travel through vacuum, and that was identified by Thomas Alva Edison in 1879. And this feature, he didn't notice that feature much. He just observed it, made a note of it, and he went on with on research. Finally, he came up with the electric bulb. But this particular feature he just observed and left was noticed by other scientists later. J.J. Thomson was one such a scientist who later identified electron. And another scientist who made cathode ray tubes based on this particular phenomenon, which later became famous as the Edison effect. So from those research, he found a new thing over there and he developed that. Coming to the field of law, we know we have got rules, regulations regarding media. About print media or electronic media, we have some regulations in place. But what about the recently growing thing called social media? Can we bring those things under the ambit of this same law with which we can control, with which we apply, which we can apply on electronic and print media? We have got a separate board, a censorship board to censor, to go through each and every films that is produced in India and award different certifications. What about OTT platforms? Do they be brought under this? New questions. So we can identify such kind of questions and we can do a deeper research on those kinds of things. So it is an original research investigating a new question or identifying gaps in the existing questions. Sometimes we might have made some kinds of rules or regulations to control some things in the society. But we may often come across some scenarios, some situations where we may find those laws need to be modified. For example, we have a separate set of laws in India to take care of children. We have separate laws for providing them with the free education until the age of 14. We have separate legal systems to take care of them. We have welfare associations for them. And we have stipulated laws against using children as child labor as well. But is or can we apply the same set of laws for every student, every child who may be identified as a child labor? A few years ago, there was an incident where a child who was working as a labor, an assistant, helper in an hotel, was identified and rescued by the government authorities. He was rescued. This word is very important because that was the word used by the authority, the media, everywhere. He was rescued. He was provided with admission in a school. He was provided with the uniforms, school bags, books, and everything. The reporter who reported this particular incident went to meet this boy 3 months later, and then he found the mistake behind that. When he was rescued from the hotel and taken to this welfare board, they never thought anything about what is happening behind this child, this boy. He was hardly a 10 years old boy who was taking care of his entire home. His father was already dead. His mother was bedridden. But when he was working in the hospital, this hotel, they had food for 3 times. His small sister was going to school also. But for the past 3 months, what was happening was that the midday meal provided at the school is the only meal for the entire 3 members' family. He had actually developed a kind of a psychological feeling against the system in the government. So how that law is to be implemented comes a question. There's a gap. There's a problem there. How that has to be addressed. So either we do a detailed research based on a new question, a new problem, based on the kinds of things happening in the society, or we identify a gap in the existing system and we do a deeper research on that particular problem. Here we are addressing a particular scenario alone and we are trying to go as deep as possible to find the solutions within the systems available to us itself. So that is the original research, which is a feature of this dissertation. Second is a structured format. A dissertation has to follow a structured format. As we said, a dissertation actually deals with a fresh problem. A fresh problem means the person who is doing the dissertation may find it. He may be the person who identified it. The others may or may not know it. But when he presents it, it is his responsibility to make it sure that the attender, the reader, the audience come to know what the exact problem is, what are the kind of analysis, data, research kinds of things he had done, what are the research methodologies he had followed, what are the analysis he had done, and what is the conclusion he had come to that, come at the end of this process.